What's up, everybody? I am so excited for the lovely, beautiful, amazing, multi-talented young lady sitting next to me today. She's a loving mother. She's an actress. She's a presenter. She is a writer. She is just a bundle of joy to be around and massively talented. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
I'm super excited to have you here. Your energy is, let me think of the right word, addictive. So everybody's buzzing, everybody's
that's
jumping
nice,
around.
with all my giggles in between.
I'm really, really excited we've never met before prior to this.
Yes.
I'm very, very excited to get to know you. You've got an amazing, amazing life story. And I believe there's going to be bricks, tons of golden nuggets that you're going to throw at us today.
I hope so.
You will. I know you will. I know you will.
Yeah.
You know, just before the interview started, you already were like, whoa, 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 give us the value on camera, not only off camera. So I'm going to jump into I think it's my favorite question for one reason, because it normally just gives young people hope. Who were you at 17? So I know it's not a long time ago. It's 4 years ago. 17. 17-year-old Noni walks in, personality this size.
Yeah.
You know, dynamite, sits on the couch. Process with me. What's important? What is occupying your mind? Where are you going? Are we going TV? Are we going acting? Where are we going at 17? Are you interested in boys? You know, what's grabbing your attention? Like, where are you?
So I'm 17. Goodness me. I had just moved into a new town. So I was in Johannesburg for years. That's where I had most of my school career. Then I moved to the Eastern Cape when I was 17.
Okay.
For grade 11.
Sure.
So
Confusing
17
time for
was
a
a
young
confusing
girl.
time.
And moving.
New environment, new house, around family constantly, extended family, aunts, cousins, the works, you name it. And a new school, and it's a girls' school.
So you come out of a mixed school, boys and girls, into an all-girls school.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is different, you know, and I'm trying to suss everything out. I'm trying to suss out the energies. I'm trying to, you know, also just remain being myself.
Okay.
But I'm dealing with all these changes that are happening in my life, you know, at that particular time. And most importantly, I am so ambitious. I have always been ambitious. I'm fiery. I'm confident, you know. But at the same time, I'm just still trying to figure out what I want to become. Because now it's towards the end of my high school career. I'm starting a new school. This is already setting me back a bit mentally, you know, and a tad bit emotionally as well.
Of course, you've
it
got
wasn't
a
actually a
friendship
move
group
I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have a choice. You're 17.
Do you understand? You get told this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
And you
1,
kind
2,
of just,
come back. Let's
absolutely.
go.
So it was a confusing time for me. But I mean, I've always known that I wanted to be in media and the arts. That's always been my passion. And I was already modeling at the time, actually.
Of course you were.
I had won first princess at my, you know, high school beauty pageant competition. So, I mean, I kind of, if I look at it now, actually, and I go back and I'm thinking, I actually had a good idea of what I wanted to do. You know, it was just a matter of having, you know, the resources in reach to get to where I wanted to be. It's a different time. It's a small city. I'm in the Eastern Cape, you know, and I'm just trying to figure it out. So it was a confusing time, but hey.
So, you know, us mere mortals looking at you, I would be like, okay, she had her stuff figured out, 17 years old and 6 months. This is what I'm going to do. It wasn't like that. It gives us confidence. Okay, so
then there's the confusion with the boys as well. So I mean, it's a really confusing time for a 17-year-old. So but I don't think I did too bad.
No, you didn't, my friend.
Think I did too bad.
I've got an idea. You are just getting started.
Yay! I love it.
You definitely are. You definitely are. So, 17, you start a new life, basically.
Yeah.
There is no comfort of, this is my friendship group. At 17, you have to make a new friendship group. Obviously, you've got a big personality. That's not a problem. I want to process being one of 11 siblings.
At 17.
At 17, you've got 4 sisters and 6 brothers, and you're third oldest. So there's the twins, then it's you, and then it's boom, 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 right up to
Yeah, all the way down.
So is that a challenge, or is it just a huge amount of fun?
That was my safe space.
Safe space.
Yeah, that's all I've known.
Siblings are normally not.
No, my siblings were my safe space. I mean,
amazing.
Because, I mean, I had friends, of course. Because, I mean, you go to school, you meet friends. You go to church, you meet friends. You go to, you know. But, I mean, my bestest friends were always my siblings. We'd fight a lot. But, I mean, we were brought up to just be that close-knit. So, I mean, it was my safe space. So I'm 17. I'm in a new town. I'm in a new school. No sibling in the school. That was terrifying.
Okay.
And it's the first year in boarding school as well.
So it's all girls and boarding school.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a nightmare, my friend.
Yeah. It was quite a year for me, actually.
And where do you matriculate? Also in the all-girls school?
Yes.
In the Eastern Cape. That's where you matriculate.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So walk me through. Okay, like I've got a million questions, but you matriculate at 18. How does the river of life take you to all the amazing journeys that you've traveled? How does that work? Navigate me through your first year out of school. Do we go study? Do we go audition? Is there any rejection? Is there any hardship?
Oh, yeah.
How does that
There's
work?
definitely a lot of rejection. I'm out of school, and obviously first thing I'm thinking is film, television, the arts. So I end up at AFDA, right?
That's where you're going to build your base. You want to go and study the craft, learn all the ins and outs, and then boom, trampoline off to the first audition, and then SABC, here we come. How does that work out?
Okay. It's such a crazy time because it's not really your choice fully at that age.
No, it's not.
It's not. You're right. So I'm kind of going where I'm being led, you know, by parents, of course. So initially, I think also I've been very grateful to have parents that have let me be myself.
Okay.
So definitely, first move was the arts, and then financial constraints happen through, you know, me attempting to study, and that's when I was like, okay, parents are not there now. They're not going to lead me. They're not going to tell me what step to take. So my next move of my life needs to be a good move, because I also had to learn at that age very quickly that sometimes the answer is not necessarily no, but you need to wait.
Yes.
Maybe the timing, patient.
The timing is not
right.
The
timing is not right.
Got you.
So
that's a valuable, that's a golden brick.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily no, but perhaps the timing isn't right.
Yes.
So it's a yes, but for another time.
So that's how I've always taken media and our arts. And that's how I then looked into F&I and applying for the F&I assistant. It's it's 2 different worlds.
TV, automotive industry.
2 different worlds.
I agree.
But I knew that I had to make that move, because that move is going to propel me to the direction of how I'm somehow going to get back to what I want to become. And I made the move at the time because I also felt it was a responsible thing to do, because I didn't want to let my circumstances determine my next move. So I had to then be faced with making that decision on my own now without my parents. And it's the best decision I've ever made, because
Amazing.
After that, life works out, and here I am back in the arts.
Yes.
But I'm at a better place. I have a career. I have a qualification. I have a base. And I think that is important. We don't all get to, in entertainment, we don't all get to have that foundation. And I think I don't take that for granted at all.
You go into F&I as an assistant. You move to KZN.
Yep.
Okay. So now, but I suppose at this time, you've done the boarding school. You are an established young lady. You know who you are. You're pursuing a career. Like, I'm going to pause TV. I'm not going to stop TV. I'm going to pause TV. Pause. Boom.
Yeah.
And we're going into F&I. Did you enjoy the automotive industry? And if you did, what are like the one or two things that you can take away from being a finance and insurance manager? By the way, you qualified at like 23. Like you're still a baby, and you're already an F&I manager.
Yeah.
What are the one or two things that industry taught you that you hold dear to you and has served you in your TV career?
Definitely how to interact and be in the space of and presence of different people and how to coexist.
Constantly different people.
Constantly different
Lawyers,
people.
builders.
Yeah. And how to leave my seat as an F&I and actually have a moment in the seat of a customer. That does translate into, TV and being a people's person. It's the same thing. You need to be able to do that transition quite well. So I'd definitely say that being an F&I has taught me that. And the other thing it's taught me is financial awareness and being financially savvy and being financially, aware and just taking care of my finances. I think that's so important. And I now look at my life and I'm like, things are the way they are because I have that base and that foundation from what being an F&I has taught me, because you get to get into people's personal spaces, into their finances. You get to learn of different things and how people end up in different financial situations. And you make people's dreams a reality because you've been approved. This is the rate. You can take your car. Every customer loves hearing that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So to the contrary, the customer that I have to tell that they actually, unfortunately, cannot take a car. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get your car right now.
It's not good news.
It's not good news.
I don't want to hear that.
But having to do that and getting into the shoes of that customer has added to my financial knowledge and wisdom and how it translates to how I take care of my finances. So I think there's a lot more. That's just from the top of my head, the two that I can mention right now. There's a lot more being an F&I has taught me.
You don't need to answer the question, but I'm going to pose it. You can say next, and then I'll move on.
Oh, gosh.
I just thought I'm going to catch you unprepared. But do you think that the school system, not only in South Africa, I think in the world, fails at financial literacy to the point where we've seen it? A young person gets his first job. They don't ask, I've got a budget of X. Show me the vehicles or the things I can buy on this budget. Young people come in.
Yep.
Top G.
First car.
Kick the door.
Give me a GTI.
Yeah.
Give me yeah.
What can I qualify for? Here's my payslip. Is that where we're failing there? Is it social media that's inspiring that mentality, or is it the basic lack of financial education that we receive from the schooling system? If you say next, we're going to the next question. If you would like to answer it, I would love your opinion.
I think definitely education plays a part. You can't dismiss that. You can't, because that's where we start before we go, into the working world and earning an income. And then also, I think to a certain extent, how you are also brought up and what you see. Your foundation.
Your
right?
values and principles by your parents and your surroundings.
Yeah, what you see, what you learned from home, from your parents and finances, what they prioritize, what they
prioritize.
Yeah,
My friend.
Do we, perhaps maybe live in a smaller house at home and have more expensive cars?
What do we value?
So that will also translate into what you will see as value and as an adult. Not necessarily. There are people that would, be brought up in that kind of, but actually take a different turn.
Yes, agreed. But that's the exception.
But you can't dismiss the fact that plays a role.
Huge.
A huge role. And actually knowing that there's an asset that depreciates and an asset that doesn't depreciate. So therefore, this is the better asset to have.
Yes.
So I'd rather have my small car that is very affordable, very fuel efficient, everything about it is affordable, and have a house that is big enough for my family and
grows in value.
So those are things that unfortunately I feel that we don't necessarily get taught in life. So I do feel that there's a lot of gap for that right now. And because we're living in a time of social media, that's exciting. Because it takes someone that's doing what you and I are doing to decide to actually just address it, have lessons around it, and make it available to young children that are 18 going into the, the big world and going into studying, and soon will be working and having an income. And how do you buy a car if you're earning 20,000 Rand after tax? Does it then make sense to buy a car that's going to cost you 300,000?
It doesn't. But yet, the kids of today, I love, I train my salespeople, Top G opens the door, kicks the door open, here's my payslip. What car can I qualify for? Rather than, I love, like we took a different direction, but we'll spend a few more minutes on it. Rather than sitting the person down and saying, okay, you're at 20,000 Rand. If I put you in this GTI and take, 33% of your gross, because that's allowed by the CPA, then you end up paying a higher insurance, which is not regulated. And then, young man, you're going to have to pour petrol in this GTI, or whatever the car is. It's not as affordable and as light on fuel with, with the current fuel price. So you're probably looking at 50-60% of your net income going towards.
That is ridiculous.
A car. How about this? And I do this every day. How about this? We go Vivo. Vivo. So hear me out. We go Vivo. And then they normally look at me with like cross-eyed and, the eyebrows, they come down like this.
That's not the car I want.
Like a Vivo. No, man. I said, hear me out. How about we go Vivo for the next 24 months? What do you want to do in your career? Oh, no, I'm going to smash it in my company. I'm going to be the number one person. Okay, cool. How much would you earn then? I would earn X, 50,000.
Yeah.
Okay. How does your life look at 50,000? This is what I'm going to be living in, and this is the type of things that I'm going to be experiencing, the holidays I'm going to go to. Okay, now we can afford this car. We can't today. And, 90% of the time I lose the battle. But that 10% are like, thank you, customer for life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they leave and never come back, because most times
because
we
you
know.
just talk me out of the car of my dreams.
Yeah, or the bank takes it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't end up in return business. Okay, enough car talk. I love your passion about the industry. Me and you can do a podcast together. Like we can do a podcast together, twice a day about the automotive industry, because we're both passionate about it. But okay, let's go to 19-year-old Noni. This big world that you're starting in, just finished matric, but you go with today's brain. This amazing, intelligent. You're just a beast. What one or two life hacks will serve you at 19 with today's brain? Like, what are you doing first? I know it's through life's experiences that you've got to be this person, through making mistakes and errors. But what are the one or two things that people that look up to you today can take from you and say, okay, I'm going to run with this so fast?
Definitely my resilience.
Resilience.
I wish I had that at 19. I didn't really have much resilience.
What does that mean? Do you get discouraged easier? Are you like, oh man, I'm
at the time,
at
the
the
Noni,
time.
that
At
the
19.
19, yes.
Not the
But now,
Noni
no.
no.
Oh, hell no. No.
Which walls with the S should I run
So I wish
through?
I had that when I was 19.
Okay.
Because I think I would have spent a lot more time on things that were going to make me than break me, than being disappointed in the fact that, okay, I can't carry on with this. I need to change my course. I need to change schools, story of my life, feeling sorry for myself. I definitely would have changed that now.
It is so common amongst young people. I was the same. We all were.
Yeah.
We all were.
Yeah.
So resiliency leads to, I believe, the technical ability to solve things. Because if you give up easily, you don't give yourself enough time to, process this failure.
Yeah.
Earlier we had a discussion about, if you lose, don't lose the lesson. But you don't gain the lesson unless you're resilient enough and saying, okay, shucks, I failed at this. But maybe if I approached it this way, so the next time the opportunity comes this way, here's where we failed. I'm not saying this is going to be a win, but I'm going to have a better chance looking at it that way. I'm loving our conversation, my friend. I really am.
I'm loving it too.
So I know you can't really say it's a failure or something that you failed in, because it's all along your journey. But how do you process a loss? How do you process a no? You don't become this successful unless you know how to process a loss. Many people think like, oh, everything is just ice cream roses and just a highway. Did you hit some dirt roads, some bumpy roads?
Definitely. For me, I've always, I had to learn that I need to allocate time to mourn my losses.
Allocate time to,
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
So you've got a certain time for a certain loss.
Yes.
You don't give it more or less time.
Yes, I don't. And
Beautiful.
also, I feel it is important to do that and not just kind of breeze through everything. Like it's dismiss the fact that I've just lost someone, or I've just lost something, or I've just been told no, the door has been shut on my face, you know? So it's having to acknowledge that loss, giving it its time, and also trying to find out in the process of what I wanted to achieve. If it's a goal, for example, what is it that I could have done differently so that I can come back and try again? Because trying again, I definitely will do. So I would definitely say that that's how I took my losses, and giving time to become a better person, and to, because I can also appreciate that I was 19, growing. I'm not going to know everything.
Absolutely.
Figuring things out, figuring myself out, for crying out loud. So there'll be a lot of no's and a lot of disappointments along the way. However, what am I taking from those disappointments? You know, how can I use them to best equip myself to get to where I want to be?
And how long are you carrying that? I love your...
That disappointment.
I love your direction and allocating a time. Not too much, but not too little.
Yeah.
Just give it enough process.
Acknowledge it.
Acknowledge it.
It happened.
For
you
a
lost
reason.
something.
Yeah.
That's something.
Take your L.
Yeah.
You taught me that. Take your L and run, girl.
Take your L and run, you know, but learn the lesson behind the L.
Yes.
What is the lesson there? There is a lesson there. So I
Love
always
that.
believe that there's a lesson behind every loss. There's something good can come out of it.
I love asking young people this. Who was tougher on you, mom or dad? Because you've got dad that's an absolute beast. He's a personality. And then you've got mom who's an entrepreneur and an absolute beast as well. So who was tougher? Who gave you more pushback?
I think my dad, because he's just more protective, you know.
His little girl.
Yeah. So definitely my dad. My mom was a lot more chilled, a lot more relaxed, you know, about things. Not nonchalant, but I mean, she kind of just trusted me to handle things. She trusted me to make the right choices when I needed to make choices. Not that my dad didn't trust that, but I think he was just very aware of the kind of world we live in. And that made him very protective. And that kind of translated to kind of being borderline strict at times. But I remember before becoming an adult, of course, that he was such a fun parent, because he would actually encourage, okay, you guys are going out with your friends and your friends are the opposite sex, have fun. However, I want you home by midnight. And best believe my sister and I would get back home and he's sitting on the couch waiting.
At midnight.
So
how...
He doesn't even go to sleep. He's waiting.
I'm going to ask you an awkward question now. So a boy arrives at your house and you guys are going out. Okay. What's that conversation like?
Sure.
Is it like sit here?
That didn't happen often at all.
Okay.
But the one time I remember it happened, I was actually 19.
19 years old. Here's a young man coming to your house to pick you up.
Pick my sister and I up. So it's two guy friends of ours. You know, we're going bowling. We're going to have a fun evening. So we tell my dad this. And my dad's like, oh, okay. So they get there. We're like, oh, they're outside. He's like, oh, no, they better come in.
There's no hooting, eh?
No, they're not going to pick my kids up like outside from the street. You guys need to invite them in the house because I need to meet them.
Look
so
them
we're
in
like,
the
oh,
eyes.
okay. we like, this is awkward, but we do it. They meet, they sit on the couch. He throws the questions. Oh, okay.
What sort of questions, please? I'm
No,
dying.
definitely where they're from. Black parents always ask that.
Where you from?
Yeah.
Where did
Who's
you
your
grow up?
mom? Who's your dad? Give me your clan name. How old are you? So where are you guys going? Why do you guys want to go out with my girls? Like questions like that. And my sister and I
So
were just
there's
like,
a lot
this
of-
is the most daunting thing for these boys. My
There's a
goodness.
lot of this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this. I know. I've been a boy at 19 going to be. There's a lot of.
Yeah. So in the same breath, that very same night, he's like, okay, I think just him being a dad and being protective, we didn't understand it at the time. It was like, okay, you guys will pay the bill and you pay for your activities. So your bowling and your dinner, and he hands his bank card to us to take with for the night. But he's like, you don't say a thing, but you guys pay the bill. We didn't understand it at the time, but now I'm just like, I see what you was doing.
So you pay the whole bill.
Yeah. And they're just like, oh, okay, we took you guys out, but that's fine, because that's what he told us to do. So my sister and I were like, okay, we'll do that.
Power, Dad. More power to you.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. And you were home by 12.
Definitely a home by 12.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Corporate, young girl, beautiful girl, qualified, 23. I don't know how that happens, but it did for you. Doesn't normally happen for us mere mortals, but qualified at 23. Now, I think the pushback comes, you've got this 40-odd, 50-odd year old person that you were basically training under, a couple of them, normally in a dealership environment. Now, you're this attractive girl that's taking market share from them, taking customers, and now all of a sudden you're more popular. How do you deal with that?
Sure.
Did that even happen, or did I just dream it up in my mind?
No. It happened exactly as you've just painted
Okay.
it out.
It normally
actually.
does.
Yeah.
In any industry with
Yeah.
an up-and-comer that's as talented as you are.
I think if you don't get your mind right, it can ruin everything for you. Because initially I didn't know how to handle it.
Do you get a big head? Is the ego like on fire? No. Are you coming
No.
from a place of I'm scared now?
Yes, quite the opposite. I was about to
Good.
say.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. A lot of fear, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of, now you think, okay, should I be doing as good as I'm doing? Should I play maybe a little bit small so that everybody's happy? Those thoughts kind of creep in. And then I kind of realized that, but what justice does that serve? Like, who am I doing that for?
Somebody else.
You know what I mean? But initially, that's what I did. I mean, I was only 23, and it was my coping mechanism at the time that I just want to be in a happy environment. I spend 8 hours at work every single day. So I just want to make people happy. And the reality is you cannot make everybody happy. And playing small may make other people happy, but it won't make you happy. So it was a lot to take in. I literally had to go back to what I learned from my dad, to just, go back to center myself and kind of go back to the drawing board in a way, to say, how do I handle this? And as much as I want to handle this and go live past it and still be my best in my job, I also find that having good relationships at work is important for work.
Very.
Right?
Very.
It's important because we coexist. I strongly believe in coexisting. No man is an island.
Yeah.
So it was a very tricky time for me. I'd literally get home on some days and just bawl my eyes out because
Sure.
I felt like it was heavy. Sometimes people are not necessarily nice to you, but you're still nice to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I found that it actually worked, because whenever I'd leave, whether I'm leaving that particular company to join the next, I'm in good terms with everyone.
Yeah.
I've grown as a person.
Kill them
I've
with
learned
kindness.
from them. Oh yeah, I'm a strong believer of killing with kindness. Most importantly, we've learned a lot from each other.
Yeah.
And even though I was as young as I was, it was nice to see that they could acknowledge that, okay, Noni, you've taught us a thing or two.
You've got skills, girl.
So that's how I handled it, man. It was very confusing and quite saddening at times, but I think I just figured it out. Sometimes I just figure things out. Like being a mom, I'm constantly figuring things out. So that's how I handled it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What is some of the best advice that, and sometimes for me, advice either hits you like a train, poof, or it lands like snow. Like, boom. Oh, that made sense. Perhaps you want to share best advice that you've ever received and that you could give and pass on to say, this has served me. Think about this in this context.
Yeah. I've actually received quite a lot of good advice, but I think the one that stood out the most to me is that no one is in charge of your happiness.
Ooh, it's in your own hands.
But you.
Wow.
So if you are in a relationship, or you are in a friendship, or you are in a marriage, or you are still living with your parents, the closest person to you is not in charge of your happiness, but you.
It's you.
So you are in full control of your mindset. And when you need to you change things and get your mindset right and make a conscious decision to wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to have a good day, despite the fact that I'm fighting with my sister or this person or that person. You are in charge of your own happiness and nobody else. So I think that's definitely helped me a lot in my life, growing up and being a mom and being exposed to different experiences and different people. It's very easy to go into a space of sadness when you're going through something with somebody else. And then that kind of like translates into different aspects of your life. Then you actually see how detrimental this is now. Like, this is getting deeper than it actually should be.
Yes, agreed.
And that's when you need to come in and grab the bull by the horns and say, no, I'm in charge of my happiness. I am going to make the decision to be happy so that I can be the best version of myself. So that's been the best advice I've gotten. And it's worked. I took it and I went with it. It's working.
Beautiful, my friend. And when you walked in, there's one thing that I look for in everybody I meet. Do you carry a victim card around? So for me, a victim card is,
feeling sorry.
I grew up, we were, there was 11 of us at home and it was stuff. You came in and you're like, listen, there was 11 of us. It was a flippant jaw.
It was a jaw.
The crazy stories, the siblings, the rivalry.
Yeah.
My sister's 13-ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
No victim card.
Yeah.
No one's in charge of your happiness but yourself. Don't pass it on to someone. Whoever you pass it on to will disappoint you. Am I right to say so?
Absolutely.
If it's in your own hands.
Don't give anyone that much power.
Yeah.
Don't give anyone that much power.
There's been so many high five moments. I've never high fived somebody so many times. Thank you. I'm really loving our interview. If you could spend an entire day with someone, I want to see where you go with this, because are you going TV? Are you going political? Where are you going with this? If you could spend an entire day with someone, what would you ask them and what would you process with that person? First of all, who is the person? Who's the lucky person that gets to spend an entire day with Noni?
To be quite honest,
yes.
Right now,
yes.
If I could pick one person to just spend the day with them,
yes,
it would be my grandmother that passed away in 2020.
Shame.
Yeah.
What would you process with her?
I'd process how crazy life was and has gotten from 2020 to date.
Until now.
It's been a roller coaster.
So she remembers Noni as an F&I.
Yes, but also she remembers the Noni as also, someone that's wanting to get into TV. She's got this dream.
So she hasn't gotten into TV.
I'm praying for
yet.
her. She used to pray for me a lot. So my grandmother was that. So she knew that by the time she passed.
Okay.
She knew. But there's a lot that's happened from then to now.
That needs to be
processed. And I look at myself and I look back and I'm like, geez, honey, how did you do that? How did you jump across that wall? How did you make it through this? And I think she'd be proud of me.
Of course you will. And I know she is. So I'm also a person of faith, and I know there is a God, and I believe in God. And I know that she's looking at you from a place much better than where me and you sit, smiling at both of us. Please don't make me emotional. We're both getting emotional now. But she's smiling.
Yeah.
And she's so proud of the amazing woman that I'd
give everything just to have a fat chat with her. And just hear what she'd have to say and how proud she'd be,
I believe we can. And, in our prayers and in our sleep, sometimes we we get to chat to
Yeah.
loved ones that
Yeah.
we've lost.
Yeah.
Wow, my friend. Okay, let's lighten it up a bit.
Okay.
If you could eavesdrop and be a fly on the wall, like the one that was just, I don't know if the camera caught the one that just flew past us both, but if me and you could be a fly on the wall. So I'm your friend there, we're chilling, we're hanging out on a wall. Who's in the room and what are they talking about? What would you like to
Right
overhear?
now?
Yes, right now.
A topic of
Today.
interest to me,
Yes.
I want to be a fly on the wall in the ESCOM boardroom.
Oh,
Because what the is
it's
going on?
Yes.
What are we actually dealing with?
Yes. So we'll allocate 2 minutes to ESCOM. So I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to ask you. Like, I hope they speak about this. What is the actual plan? Because nobody's saying, listen, you guys are going to be in stage whatever
Yeah, God.
for the
Goodness
next
me.
18 months or
Yeah.
12 months or 16 months. We have appointed X. We're raising money from Russia, wherever we're raising money from. We need 18 months. Bear with us. This is the outcome. Then South Africans, we are so tough. We'll be like, okay, cool. We elected you. You are, the best people to run the country and make important decisions. We back you. But in 18 months or whatever time span you give us, you better freaking deliver. We're not getting that.
Sure. I don't. This is an interesting one for me.
For us all.
For us all. In as
For
much
us
as
all.
I really don't like to be, controversial or to, political conversation. I really shy away from those.
Me too.
But I mean,
But this affects.
But it
this
affects
is not
us a
political. This
lot.
is
Yeah.
like it's. I can say in the 21st century, electricity is our right.
Of course.
It's absolute right. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, I would definitely want to, firstly, right now, be a fly on the wall in the ESCOM boardroom. Secondly, I would want to be a fly on the wall in the AKA investigation. SAPS. Interesting.
Have you met the man?
I've met him.
You've met him.
I actually met AKA quite recently at Ricky's memorial service.
Oh,
if you remember Ricky Rick.
yes.
Yeah, at Ricky Rick's memorial service I met AKA. So that was last year, February.
So interesting that you're saying that.
So
Right before I walked into this interview, I was speaking to quite an influential businessman, and we processed, what happened. I'm like, oh my gosh, the video and everything. So, back and forward. And I asked him, he says, yes. So he used to support a car dealership somewhere, and the owner of the dealership phoned and said, recently he bought a vehicle. So here's what he did. So I'm like, what did he do? He came in, wasn't asked to, wasn't paid money to do that, wasn't given special discounted treatment. He came in, got all the staff, from cleaning staff, everybody, said, let's do a video together just to say thank you very much for the way that you've treated me. So, that's from people that have had contact with him. He was a gentle person. Gentle person.
Very, I mean, I didn't know AKA personally. I really wish I could comment on his personality. But I mean, just the impact he had on our, country through music is it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
Very talented.
So I mean, it's really something I'd like to know about more. I think all of us right now, it's a sad situation. Crime is ridiculously high in our country. It just gets worse. That you could just literally be gunned down, walking out of dinner innocently, and you just, a man with a whole family. So I think that's a big one we have right now, and our SAPS has a very big responsibility on that one. We are waiting for answers.
And something like this happening 10, 20 years ago, the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people that see this, legend in that state. Today, everybody's seen that way. So I think, it's very sad. It's very, very sad.
Extremely sad, yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
It's very, very sad. Are you a big reader? You look like a big reader.
I'm not a big reader, but I am a reader.
Okay.
I haven't read much in the past 3 years because I was focusing a lot on
You haven't slept
my-
much or did anything else except being amazing.
Yeah.
If you haven't had time.
Yeah, because I graduated my degree last year, cum laude.
Wow. High five. My friend.
I had to.
Like,
Thank you.
we were sitting, on the side going like, can we also have some brains? Like, she took everything. Is there anything left for us? And you grab
So
more,
all my
more.
spare time went into my degree, and I'm now busy with my postgrad because I'm like, I'm not going to catch a break. I need to do this. I need to finish this. So when I do get a bit of time, I read.
What is your 1 or 2 favorite books that, like, man, I would really recommend this? Boom.
I'm currently reading Oprah's What Happened to You right now.
Good.
But the one I read, I've had it for 2 years now, and I read it in the beginning of the year, is The Year of Yes.
The Year of
The Year
Yes.
of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. It is a good read for this time of the year to get your mind right, to get to get yourself very positive and amped up for the year. So I would definitely say my favorite read so far would be The Year of Yes.
The Year of Yes. Okay. I'm not even
Funny, we
gonna-
were talking about the no's and the L's.
Yes.
And I'm loving The Year of
The
Yes.
Year of Yes. I'm not even going to ask you because you've been in the industry for a long time. You're a car girl. I know you
Yeah.
are. I don't need to ask you. I can see you are. I know you are because you don't have 10 years in the industry if you don't have a passion for the product, which you do.
Yeah.
Give me your first car and then your dream car.
Okay.
First car.
First car was a Hyundai i20.
i20. That's a nice
green
car.
one.
That's a
You know
nice
that
car.
lime green
Yes.
one that
Like
Hyundai had?
You can't hide. We'll see you from far away. Love it.
And I remember when I drove.
That's a cool car.
Yeah,
Very cool
I
car.
remember when I drove it. It drove a longer distance for the first time, and I was driving past it. It was a rainy day. I thought I was gonna die that day. It was such a rainy day, and I drove past a truck, and the truck literally buried the car in
Underwater.
water. And
Jeez.
I'm like, my wipers working.
can't
What's
see
going
for a
on?
while.
I couldn't see for a couple of minutes. That little bit of time actually kind of made me feel like, am I driving the right car? Am I a big car girl? Do I want a big car?
Was that a big car for
right
you?
now, I'd love a G-Wagon.
A G-Wagon. Like trucks come, throw water, no problem.
Yeah, I think right now. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of months my answer is different because that's just how I am.
Okay. But
Yeah,
for now,
I
G-Wagon.
changed
What
my
color?
mind.
What color? Are we set on the color yet?
A black
A
one.
black G-Wagon. Gangster. I like it.
Black.
My friend, I hope you get one in black and every other color you want.
Let's send it out to the universe.
ma'am.
I receive. I receive.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm having too much fun.
Me too.
You are so nice to talk to. Thank you. So, for the hundreds of thousands of fans out there, what's coming up next? Where can we see you? Is there any sneaky, peeky things that you would like to reveal to your fan base?
Nothing I can reveal right now.
Okay.
I'm
What are you
usually
excited
someone
about?
that doesn't reveal. I'm
What are you
someone
excited
that's-
about?
I'm excited about my acting right
Okay.
now. I am, opportunities are coming up. That's quite exciting for me. So I'm excited about that. So let's hope and pray.
We all will, my friend.
But yeah, I don't usually reveal things. I'll just share when they happen.
Okay.
So let's also just have a moment for it, and I hope it's a good year
It
with
will be.
endless opportunities.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's currently what I'm working on.
My friend,
A lot of focus on my acting.
this has been so much fun.
Thank you.
You are definitely going to leave us a lot better than you found us. Your energy is just, it is addictive. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you
I
for
loved our
having me.
interview. I've learned so much. You didn't throw, normally guests throw golden nuggets. You are like bricks, gold, 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 more
Duck.
gold.
Take, catch,
No, you
duck.
put it down. So much value. Thank you so much.
Thank
I really,
you.
really love the time that you spent
I
together.
loved it here. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.